How many of you know Drew Taylor? Drew Taylor, yeah, all right. So Drew was here last year, and he was sharing with us Chiapas Resort, which is a resort that he's actually building in Mexico. And it's been a year since we've seen him, so I wanted to bring up Drew to kind of share with you what's been going on. Please welcome Drew Taylor.
Howdy, folks. How's everybody doing this morning? I appreciate y'all getting out of bed to come see me.
Yeah.
I know better than that. You know what? And it's great the way that Daven introduced that is because last year, life always has curves. There's the ebb and the flow of life. And it isn't how you react to those that really determines where you're going. It's how you get through those and you rise above it. And so I'm going to tell you, it's a funny story. Sometimes we get distracted in life. And I came out here, I was a little bit premature in doing this, but I'm a ready, fire, aim guy, And I find it a very interesting story. And I'm going to burn through this pretty quickly. Y'all can see some of the stuff up there. You'll see what it is. But I've changed a little bit of what I'm wanting to communicate today. Everybody knows who Boeing is, and they just Elon Musk just rescued a bunch of, or SpaceX, rescued a couple of astronauts from up there. And if you saw what was recently printed, in 2016, the federal government gave Boeing $2.2 billion, and they gave Elon Musk $1.2, with the goal of them going up and being able to go back and forth to space. Boeing basically said, we invented space travel, and so we're the big guys. You can't really tell us what we need to do. And Elon Musk said, I've never done this. I'm willing to listen to anybody out there to see if we can get back and forth to space. So on half the money, and y'all see this, Elon Musk is the guy running back and forth to space. He did not know what he was doing, but he was willing to listen to anybody, and conversely, Boeing wouldn't, and we see the result of that. So in life, you go in, and I'm a guy that is wide open to talking to people about things. I ended up after coming to the cruise last year, I ended up getting distracted, and it's a funny story about that, because when you get distracted, when you have something you have to focus on, and you get distracted, everything else kind of gets set to the side. Many years ago, my wife, and she's a little princess, and she never goes anywhere without her makeup and all on, and we're going through in our motor coach traveling. We have a big bus that we're traveling in, and the water pump goes out on that bus. And I was raised on a farm. There's nothing I can't fix. But I'm wanting to get home. We're 70 miles away from home, and I didn't want to be stuck there. So I'm having to add water to our bus about every 10 or 15 miles. So it's hot and sweaty, and I'm out there and I'm driving this thing and I'm running. I was afraid to turn it off, and my wife is sitting there and she's oblivious. She just knows we're having problems. And so I go and I come back in and I'm sweating. I'd added water to it, fired up, and I'm starting to get on the road. And she goes, hey, honey, wait just a minute. And I said, yeah, what do you need? And she goes, will you sharpen my eyebrow pencil? And I turned around and looked at her and I said, are you serious? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And so the reason I'm telling you that is because in time, you have to go in and focus on the things, and you ignore the eyebrow pencil. So coming away and doing this, many years ago I learned, if life throws detours to you, don't let them derail you. Because on the other side of that, you may come out better, and that's what's happened on this project. It has been incredible what has transpired since then. I actually and this is very important to anybody interested in this, one of the things I found out, if you're going to do business in Mexico, you better have a Mexico partner. And so the people that we were buying this ranch from, 110 acre, 200 years in the family, they've owned it. This couple has owned it for 40 years. And I asked Roberto, I said, would you consider partnering with us? And he said, no, there's only one chief in the teepee. And so I thought, well, teepee's toilet paper. What does that mean? Not really. So as we went and talked about it and back and forth to the property, Roberto sees it, and he said, I would like to partner with you. So I'm proud to say we have a Mexico partner in this project, and it's opened so many doors for us. So there's been a lot of acceleration, a lot of growth. There's been some change in it, and I'm more excited about it today than I was. So live your best life. I'm building a retirement resort, but we also have a piece of this thing that has 110 acres. I mean, is going to have about 100 investment vacation homes for people that want to go. We'll put it into our Airbnb pool. Instead of buying a timeshare, you can buy a real property in this managed community that we're building. So Chiapas, it's southernmost state, and I'm just kind of burned through some things. There's a property on here, and I'm actually talking to Brandy now. We're wanting to do something with this. That's a 500-year-old Spanish conquistador chapel. So years ago, when the Europeans, this property was occupied by the Mayans for thousands of years. Roberto's got buckets of things that are all these little trinkets. I said, what are those? And he goes, they're the toys that the Mayans made for their kids. It's all on this property. It's crazy. So when the Europeans came over, the trade winds and the water currents took them to the Yucatan. That's how they happened to come in down there. This property was a stopping point. And so that's a 500-year-old chapel that is in the heart of this property. I mean, it's incredible. It's hallowed ground. Chiapas has 30% of the water of Mexico. The waterfalls and the stuff that you see there, I mean, it's beautiful property. When I first, Jerry Conti, and I have to thank he and Jessica for, introducing us to this last year. When I first told Jerry this is what I was doing, he goes, Drew, I love you, brother. And he said, I'm going to come down there and look at it, but you got it wrong. I've been selling beaches for 30 years, and the profit's in the beaches. So he comes down to Chiapas, a few shots of tequila, sitting there with Roberto. We go for a 15-minute, because he was out of courtesy. He was going to go ahead and just look at the property. 4 hours and a few shots of tequila later, Jerry goes, I love this place, So he's one of the partners with us in this project. Who's our perfect customer? This tells a bunch of the information. This retirement community, and part of the reason I even wanted to do this, and I may have said this last year, but my oldest son, Jason, we sold out of a chain of juice bars in 2016. Jason took his money, and he's kind of a nomad, and he always runs to the beat of his own drum. I love it about him. But Jason goes, and he traveled all over the world, backpacking and other stuff, staying in hostels and everything else. Ends up down there in San Cristobal, Mexico, and he calls me. He'd say, Padre, you got to come down here and see this place. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And I was just pushing him off. And then 2 years ago, sends me a picture, and it's a baby. And he goes, if you want to meet your granddaughter, you ought to come down to Mexico. So that's how the little bastard got me to go there. So it's his fault. He founded this place, and it's beautiful. I couldn't be happier. That was another thing that really impressed Jerry when we came down. You think it's Mexico, and it is true. Mexico, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of poor. It's also a lot of history and a lot of age, and really one of the most beautiful places that I have ever seen. But then you think, well, what's the food like? Americans, we're going to bring retirees down there, and are they going to like it? It isn't. You take one of the beach resorts, some of the things going on, they Americanize the whole thing. We're not. We're integrating into the history. So we're taking this old historical place, and we are going to do some really cool things with the properties, the homes we're building. We're using all the local folks that we can and everything else. But when we went out for the nightlife, what we find out is all these people from around the world have moved to, Chiapas is the fastest growing state in Mexico. You have all these expats that are from around the world moving there. So the restaurants that they have, there are French restaurants, German food, Indian food, you name it. And it's like you're walking into some of the finest dining in Manhattan. You can't believe that it is there. And so you look, and it's always bustling. The culture down there is incredible. 67% of the people are indigenous people, Mayans, that have been there forever. A lot of people don't realize that. So there's plenty to do down there. There's nightlife. We will be running. One of the things I told Roberto, I'm not going to bring a bunch of old Americans down there here and have them driving their cars around. You do not want to do that in Mexico. So we run shuttles back and forth, and they're close to the towns. In these homes, and we have, like I said, we have three separate parts. The heart of this whole thing is the retirement. We're going to have about 80 homes in there, and they'll range from the homes that we're doing, since they're retirement homes, 50 plus are the people that will be there to do this. And so they're some of the most affordable things that you've ever seen, and they're built by a company that's been doing it for 40 years in the area. They own their own forests. They harvest their own wood, kiln dry it and everything else, because most of the wood in Mexico, they don't dry. So you go build a house and it's all square, and by the time a couple years down the road with age and everything, that's kind of round because wood bows. Well, they don't do that. And they also treat the stuff. These are the, depending on the different ones that you're doing, it comes with all the basic stuff. This is typical things that we see. One of the things that we're doing, and I don't know if this video will play, and if it doesn't, no big deal. We are working with digital nomads. See, and I'm sure a bunch of you people know how many people know what a digital nomad is? Okay.
Wonder Week is coming. Enjoy
you can kill that volume if you want. Yeah. And skip that. Thank you. This is about an hour from the ranch, one of these waterfalls. This couple right here is actually how we're marketing. I've been a guy, it's what I love about this cruise. This has been, being introduced to this, coming on this, has been one of the best things that I have ever seen in my life, because all the people you're sitting with, entrepreneurs understand each other. When we fall down, like I did last year, we get back up and kick butt. One of the things that we're doing is we are using digital nomads to come, and we're going to offer them to stay on the property free and feature what we have down there. So I wanted this to kind of burn through, and even if you can do, we'll cut this off in just a minute. You look at these people, you see where it is. To the west is the Pacific. Green jungle. But see the beauty of this place? I mean, it's just incredible, No, it isn't the beaches, but who needs the sunny beaches when you can go and see some of this stuff? These are some of the young people down there. It's how Jason happened to find this. He was a digital nomad. One of the cool things about it, we talk about philanthropy. There is a big building. It's about 2,500 square feet, and when we walked into that building, they opened up the doors, and there's about 75 bunk beds in the building, and then it's got a bathroom with 4 toilets and 8 sinks and 6 showers and all that. And I asked Roberto, I said, what is this? And he goes, during the war with the Sandinistas, this was an orphanage. So I said, this is our hostel. I don't have it in here. We've got a lot of renovation and stuff to do. You can go ahead and skip that. Go to the next slide. I go to the next slide. So this is, speaking of the builder and who they are, Jason actually discovered this builder. So my son Jason is going to end up with him now that Roberto and his son Manolo are partnering with us. Roberto and I are going to do everything we can to get this where it needs to be, and then we're going to ride off as these 2 young men do this. And speaking of that, I don't know where Jason is, but I want him to come up here. Any of y'all, I have people all the time tell me, oh, I didn't realize that was your son. This is what some of the homes look like. We have gone, and they have been doing this for 40 years. They built a few thousand homes around there out of wood and everything else and you can see the treatments. So where do we go from here? This is how easy it is. Hey, Jason, are you here? Okay, come on up here. As things are, I'm a ready, fire, aim guy. My web designer has been trying to migrate.
Hey, can you hear me?
My web designer's been trying to migrate our website to this. We've been making changes on the fly. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else has had problems with the internet here. Yeah. Anyway, just take a note of this stuff, and I've got information. I'd love to meet with anyone with strategic alliances. Matter of fact, I thought about it with Ryan when he was up here. We're going to have a big health and wellness. We're going to do medical tourism down there, and we've already been creating relationships with a bunch of providers, but I think it'd be really cool to potentially address diabetes. We were in the health and wellness business, and part of what I want to do is Jason, because he's lived there and done this, talk a little bit about the ranch, how we ended up with this, some of the health and wellness stuff, and take about 2 or 3 minutes to do that.
Yeah, so obviously, I'm sure all y'all seen the news, Mexico certainly has its dangers, certainly has its risk. So in finding this property, that was one of the main things that I wanted to be extremely careful of, is where the place was, who's close to us. And this isn't the first property we found, it's not the 5th, it's probably the 17th place that I came across. And traveling all around the world, there are certain places in the world, and everyone here has been to different places, where you feel an energy, you feel a healing presence, something different in a place. And at this ranch, you will certainly feel something different, and that's what kind of touched my heart, was the place and then the family. Roberto and Manila, his wife, are just incredible people. Some of the best food and the best warmth I've felt in my entire life anywhere I've been, and that's what really touched me to, hey, we need to work with these people. And so to kind of touch on that and the safety and the people there's a military outpost about 5 minutes down the road. The local communities, we are more than 5 hours north of the border of Guatemala, where you really don't want to put your money too close into that region. Definitely don't. But where we are is a very safe region. The local town of Ixtapa, the mayor, part of what we're actually going to do is not just, we're here to make money, we're here to profit, but part of those profits are going to go to the local communities for cleanup, water cleanup, and also to build schools. So it's not just about us making money, it's about us investing in the community, helping out the locals, not just for them, but for us and for good standing in the local community. So all that being said, we're here to build retirement communities. We're looking for investments. We're looking for people that just want to work with us and how can they help us. But also, I've had many health problems in my life. I lost my mother last year to some various things and things that I've had to work through with my own health. And like I was touching on with this ranch, we're going to be doing retreats and healing, sound healing, hopefully. Some amazing people I've met here that are sound healing practitioners. I would love to bring those therapies, ayahuasca. I mean, who knows where we could go with this. So I just really wanted to touch on the safety for your money, for your investments, and where we are. This place is a good, safe region, and we're going to be working with the locals. He's also right. There was a lot of water in this state of Chiapas. It's a very, very beautiful and a frontier market. Much of Mexico has been developed from Tulum to Cancun to the Cabos, all beach places. This region of Mexico is still untapped. And so I started noticing properties and rents just going up. And one of the first places I looked is a place called Mata de Nubes. And literally these people just put up a beautiful sign, plotted out, and sold 95% of the properties only with electricity, no building, nothing, within about 6 months. When I saw that, I was like, wow. And then another property, another guy literally bought a big piece of property, plotted it out, and within about 6 to 8 months sold everything with doing nothing. So the opportunity in this land of Mexico is there to grow your money, to grow your wealth, but more importantly, your health and connection. And I will say again, the people that own this property, this ranch is sacred. There's something to it. And really when you're investing in people, you're investing in people. You're not just investing in the piece of land. And so I really thank everyone for coming here. Daven, you guys, thank you so much, because this has really changed my life and is working on me. And thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank all of y'all for coming.
My pleasure, buddy. You got it.
Just an amazing group of people. Thank you so much.
So, folks, how we're going to do this is we're going to do, like I mentioned, timeshares. People that want to go, you'll go on our website, you'll schedule to come do a tour. We're going to host you for 3 nights, 4 days. We're going to shuttle you around the town, show you the things that there are, show you the homes, what the opportunities are.
That's awesome.
If you buy one, then we'll we'll cover the cost while you're down there.
Yeah, basically a free vacation. So if
That's
you come
it.
down and you actually come in with us, invest, then yeah, your vacation, or your trip will be completely covered by us as part of your price of the home.
Folks,
I love
thanks
it.
very much.
All right,
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
guys. Drew Taylor.